House Democrats formally delivered their single impeachment article against Donald Trump to the Senate Monday, officially putting him on trial for his role in this month's deadly attack on the U.S. Capitol. We first broke this story yesterday on Fox Soul's Black Report, but take a look at the ceremonial delivery, a somber cross-Capitol march performed by the 9 Democratic House members who will prosecute the case. It's a legal formality. The House impeached Trump 13 days ago, and Senate leaders have agreed to postpone the start of the public trial until the week of February 8th. Let's run this video a little bit longer if we can. The timeline itself has been strategic, allowing the newly seated President Biden some breathing room to install several top cabinet officials and advance the debate over another massive package of coronavirus relief before the Senate becomes consumed by the highly contentious impeachment trial. Sorry, I wanted to extend that video just a little bit longer because, it's a Black woman who's out front officially delivering these. And I think it's a really powerful moment. I'm curious, just to get ready. And I told you all yesterday that I'd seen a study of Black voters who said, they were kind of 50-50, on what you want the main focus to be. Progressive policies, impeaching Donald Trump. Yeah. And I thought it was interesting that it wasn't strongly impeaching Donald Trump. What do you all think will happen?
That is a good question. What do you think?
I don't think that we're going to get the 17 Republicans needed.
So you don't think we'll get enough?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. I think that Mitch McConnell, in his attempt to create space for Biden, to get used to the position, I think that they're just going to continue to argue from the standpoint of, well, he's already out of office. What's the point? Why should we even bother? Because we don't want him to have all the perks of being a former and be able to run again. Absolutely.
I was just going to say that's the problem that I don't want, and we don't want that, right?
And he's a criminal.
Yeah, he definitely is. And we're hoping that in a couple of years, I'm just being honest, that he should be behind bars for some of the things that he's done.
Absolutely. Well, although we don't know exactly what's going to happen with the impeachment, what we do know is that they're expecting for this trial to be shorter than the 21-day trial that happened when he was impeached the last time. But also, Brooke, to your question, I feel like for me, what was more important were things like the moratorium on evictions, stimulus checks, unemployment, things like that were more important to me. And I feel like I'm glad that they gave Biden some breathing room, like you said in that story, to get those things out of the way, more pressing issues. And now we can deal with the impeachment, because once the impeachment comes, it's going to take over everything.
I just don't know why we can't do both. Why can't we do both?
You're right. I'm interested, before we move on, I think it's interesting. I've been seeing a lot of talk of people saying that we missed the moment, that the moment to actually get enough Republicans on the side of impeachment, and by we, I mean they missed the moment, was January 7th. That Republican senators have had too much time to consume too many pro-Trump talking points. Exactly. And you've seen Republican politicians kind of soften their stance. It went from the day after when they themselves were physically scared, went from this is what we're doing. How dare he do this? He needs to be held responsible to everybody has played a part in this. These people are upset. And, even the narrative has kind of shifted.
And then wondering how it's going to play out. Like at the end of the day, how is this going to affect me? They went from being scared for their life to still worrying about their careers moving forward. So.
Okay, well, the story will obviously continue as the proceedings go forth. President Joe Biden's administration is reviving a stalled plan to put the American abolitionist Harriet Tubman's face on the $20 bill, the White House confirmed on Monday, according to HuffPost Black. The Treasury Department is taking steps to resume efforts to put Harriet Tubman on the front of the new $20 note, White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki revealed after a reporter asked about the status of the plans, which Trump's administration had sidelined. Arrangements for the updated bill originated under the Obama administration as a way to honor the abolition movement and Tubman's legacy of leading hundreds of enslaved people to freedom. She would be the first Black person to appear on a U.S. note. It's important that our notes reflect the history and diversity of our country, and Harriet Tubman's image gracing the new $20 note would certainly reflect that, Psaki said. So we're exploring ways to speed up that effort. I was really interested to find out what the conservatives thought about Harriet Tubman being on the $20 bill. So I walked on, just walked on over to, with my fingers over to Fox News, and They don't seem to be to oppose it, which was surprising to me. However, they don't want the traditional headshot kind of portrait style photo to replace Jackson on the $20 bill. What they want is the 3/4 length profile of her with a gun in her hand. And I'm just...
Well, you know,
she does look badass. I will say that.
Well, I feel like this is a great way to begin Black History Month. First things first. If this, of course, happens, shout out to you, Joe Biden, for that. But also, you know, back in the 1800s, Harriet Tubman, she fought to get her widow pension for $20 a month. You know, she was a spy and all of these other things. It was 34 years that she in the making. So for her to fight to get a $20 a month pension for the rest of her life, she also won the Women in the 20s contest back in 2015. Rosa Parks came in number 3. So this is a full circle moment. For Harriet Tubman, she needs to be on the $20 bill. Long time coming, well deserved. And also, if this happens, let me tell you, someone like me who doesn't carry cash, I would love to be like, oh, can you break my Harriet Tubman 20, please, for me,
be
please?
Carrying that like I be carrying $2 bills.
I would love it.
You know
okay,
what I mean? No,
make this happen, Joe.
It would be so special. And who's on there right now? Is it Andrew Jackson?
Andrew Jackson.
Yes.
Who owns
We're doing
several
complete
slaves,
opposites
right?
here, right?
So the irony of that, this is what we need. And again, we think about all the things that we went through in 2020 and how we feel like the last administration set us so far back. It's things like this that lets us know that we were on track. People try to throw us a curveball, but I think this should happen. I think it will happen.
Okay, guys, so forgive me because I'm probably going to come in and be a bit of a Debbie Downer here. But right now, you know, Black people are being hit the hardest by the pandemic when it comes to our jobs, when it comes to our businesses, obviously also when it comes to our health. I would like Congress and the president to focus on getting a bunch of $20 bills actually into Black people's pockets before we focus on what they look like.
Exactly. Romeo,
I'm just really,
but
I think that first, it's not there though. We've been told that, hey, if you vote these 2 senators into office in Georgia, $2,000 checks in your pockets. That hasn't happened yet.
Right.
These
No, we're all waiting on
now
that.
it's down to $1,400. These checks haven't started being sent out. Why are we focused on what the dollars look like when Black people are struggling to eat right now?
Well, to be
this
honest,
actually frustrated me because I do care about this, and I do think that it was awful that, you know, Donald Trump came in and was like, no, we don't want that, because I do think we should pay homage to her. Absolutely. Get the money in the pockets before you start focusing on what it looks like. Come on.
Well, if that's the case, there's a lot of things we could just bring up and say, why are they talking about this? Why
I will do it every single time.
Because we all know the money should be out there.
But this is not where our
That's
focus should be right now. I just think that these people were told, get out to the polls, you'll get this. Go do this in the middle of a pandemic. Get out there and vote in Georgia. Everything, the future of everything is on you, and they did it. And we're talking about what the dollars look like. And not, these checks have not been sent out,
that they're doing.
Yeah, and I think that's all a mistake.
I'm with you 100% on that, but I think it's okay to talk about this as well.
All right.
I do.
Joe Biden, run me my $20 bills with Harriet Tubman on them. Okay, now moving right along. Johnson & Johnson said Tuesday that the company is on track to meet its target of 100 million coronavirus vaccine doses for the United States by the end of June. One of many announcements made on vaccine supply, according to The Hill. Johnson & Johnson vaccine trial is being closely watched with potential to produce a 3rd vaccine for the U.S., helping further the increase in available doses. The company said Tuesday that it expects results from its phase 3 trial by early next week. If the vaccine proves to be safe and effective and authorized in the coming weeks, the company's CFO, Joseph Wolk, told CNBC, we're very confident and on track to meet all of our commitments, which will include 100 million doses to the U.S. by the end of June. The 100 million doses of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine is expected to reach more people because only 1 shot is required per dose, in contrast to the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines that require 2 shots. Now, first things first here. So first thing, you know, remember the doctor yesterday, Dr. Ashby, he said, take what you can get. I'm still, you know, leaning more towards Moderna, but I do like the fact that you only have to get 1 shot for this Johnson & Johnson vaccine. The only other thing that I looked up, besides the fact that Johnson & Johnson can be stored in regular refrigerated temperatures and Pfizer needs to be like super cold. Other than that, guys, there's really no big difference between the vaccines. But if I am given a choice, Well, this is just what, according to my.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are small details, but I mean, like for the most part, there's not any huge differences in the vaccines from what I
think
read.
Melissa may be talking about the relationship with Trump involved with
No.
that.
No. I was going to say there was a report that came out today that the Moderna vaccine is. And this could be a rumor or some speculation, but that it will protect you from the other variants, strains.
Right, I did see that
of coronavirus.
Right, so
absolutely. No, and I was just going to talk about that. Dr. Kizzy Corbett, she's been saying and been really frustrated by how there's so much focus on these new variants, and she's like, hey guys, we knew this a long time ago. In development of this, we specifically attacked this part. We were focused on this part because we knew that all viruses like this, what's the word? Not evolve. What's the word that I'm looking for? They mutate. Thank you. Thank you, Devon, in my ear there. She tweeted something and she said, it's a note from Moderna saying Moderna's COVID-19 vaccine retains neutralizing activity against emerging variants first identified in the UK and the Republic of South Africa. And this is the month old. So she's like, we haven't been talking about it because there wasn't an issue.
I think we need her. We need to get her on the show.
Listen.
That would be awesome. Kizzy gang.
Cross our fingers.
All right, soulmates, a black woman who was removed from her car at gunpoint with her underage family members by Aurora, Colorado police officers last year has filed a civil rights lawsuit against the city and police officials, according to NBC News.
Hey, bud, if you're not involved, please step back to me.
Every time I see that, it just gets me so upset. The woman, Brittany Gilman, had taken her younger sister, her daughter, and her nieces for a Sunday fun day in August when Aurora officers, their guns drawn, ordered her and the girls to lie face down, according to the lawsuit, which was filed Monday in Arapahoe County. Bystanders posted video of this incident last year that showed 4 girls in the group on the ground, some handcuffed, crying and screaming as officers surrounded them. Gilliam alleges in her lawsuit that officers searched her and the girls at gunpoint were probable cause of evidence of a crime targeting the family because they were black. Gilliam, who works at the Denver County Jail, and the girls have experienced serious emotional trauma and stress. The lawsuit says the 4 minors have sought weekly therapy since they were detained in August. David Lane, the attorney for Gilliam and the girls, said the suit was the first under Colorado's new civil rights statute, which eliminates qualified immunity for police officers. Again, this video, seeing it over and over again, it takes this many officers to handle this situation. First of all, you pull someone over because the license numbers match, but the state on the plate does not. Are you not experienced enough to realize that part? Okay, and then when you see that it's kids, you're not putting them in the police car, right? It's August, it's hot. You're putting them on the ground, right? Over and over again. I feel like in 2020, thank you to cell phones, we were able to see these things, right?
Absolutely.
Because a lot of times we would not see all these things that go on. And what's going to happen to these officers?
That video was horrifying. And you know what? I hope that they sue. I hope that they win. I hope that they win an exorbitant lawsuit. And I hope that officers are penalized for this. I hope a few of them lose their jobs as a result.
Because you know what, Melissa, that's what's needed. They need to be hit in the pockets. They also need to be off the street. Because like I said yesterday, a lot of these officers that have harmed unarmed black people, as we use, they've had offenses in the past. Like the officer with George Floyd. This is not their first time that they've done that. They were able to get away with it, like situations that we've seen in the past. So we need to get these cops, these terrible cops, off the streets and get people in the roles that are here to actually serve and protect.
I mean, do they not have family? Do they not have kids? Like,
how is this okay? They don't have black family and they don't have black kids. That's the problem. They do have
That
family,
part.
but their family isn't black.
Yeah, I mean, it's a common issue. We care about things until they're black. We care about people and their lives, and we can see the humanity in people unless they're black. And so much of these issues end with money, and obviously money helps and money's going to fix, and in a traumatic situation money is important. I think it's also important to note that for those children, their lives are forever changed, no matter how much you pay them. No matter what they're owed and deserved. You can't take that moment back. You can't take back that an institution that is supposed to protect you forever you're terrified of, and not just based on what you see on the news and what you've seen happen to other people, based on what's happened to you.
But I mean, 6 years old. Can you imagine that?
No.
And they said that the children now have had to go to therapy like every week because of that. It's crazy.
All right, we have an interesting story about a black man who was caught on video participating in the riot at the U.S. Capitol. The Griot is reporting he's been denied bail while many of his white allies, if you all remember, they've been set free. According to arrest reports, black Trump supporter Emmanuel Jackson was caught on surveillance video joining the mob of people who attacked Capitol Police during the riot. Jackson is 20 years old. He's from Capitol Heights, Maryland. Police say he was seen carrying a metal bat at the Capitol entrance during all this. 5 people died during or after this, including a Capitol Police officer. Jackson turned himself in on January 18th, and Newsweek is reporting some interesting things from the affidavit. He admitted to taking part in the violent protest, identified himself in video and photographs shown to him by law enforcement, and confessed to perpetrating the violent conduct. Jackson is currently facing a number of charges, which include assault on a federal law enforcement officer with a dangerous weapon, knowingly engaging in any acts of physical violence against any person or property in any restricted building or grounds, and knowingly entering or remaining in a restricted building or grounds without lawful authority. Jackson is reportedly homeless and suffers from mental health issues. He was not given bond. His preliminary hearing is scheduled for February. Meanwhile, as we just mentioned, multiple white rioters have been released on bail. We talked about how one of them was given organic food because he was able to go to federal court and say it's part of his religion. And on the basis of religion, they said that. I think that in this instance, a couple of things are happening that's frustrating for me. If a man is homeless, a man is dealing with mental health issues, you would like that to play into a part. And that's anybody. That's, white people. That's anybody. That's just how I feel about that. But also that there's a lesson in this, that as it stands, the rules are still different, even if you actively fight alongside a group of people who swear that the rules aren't different. The rules are still different for you. And that we saw that when it came to Capitol Police officers. Right, we didn't see a lot of them speaking out after what happened when Black Lives Matter was trying to protest for the safety and security of Black lives and how they were treated. We didn't see a lot of that, but we saw a lot of Black police officers come out and say, "Oh my goodness, I realize I'm not even safe with my brother." Yeah. I realize this, and now we're seeing a Black man who is seeing a big difference, even when you actively fight against your own betterment. You're taught that's
well,
exactly
you wonder how he got there, right? You know what I'm saying? If he's homeless, he has mental issues, you don't know how he got there, and it's a sad situation. And we've seen other Black people that was there, and we're like, why are you there, right? Right? You're fine, but what are your thoughts?
I had so many questions until I found out that he suffered from mental health issues, and then I'm just like, never mind, And also the charges that have been leveled against him, those seem to be the harshest charges that I've heard thus far. So it's just.
Well, all I'm going to say is if you are in a crowd of people and there are 2,000 people and there is 0.01% Black people, go home. Okay? So
if somebody says, let's storm the Capitol, go home.
Just leave. Just leave. If you are if you are 1 in 2,000, just go home. Just leave. All right. So taking it to our YouTube soulmates, you guys, I mean, that I couldn't even, I'm overwhelmed with options of great comments to choose from today. Okay. Robin Peterkin says, we need more people to watch The Black Report. And you know what, Robert? I agree with you. Casey Bizbaugh says, give us that $20 bill with Harriet Tubman on top of it. Our fifth soulmate here, Kim Johnson, she's checking in today. She says, yes, Brooke, put the money in the people's pockets first. Last one here, Camila says, exactly. They don't have Black families or Black kids. Oh, I'm just loving the comments. Keep them coming because I'm going to be rolling more off as the show goes on. But right now.